church this evening. Ah, yeah. Long as I got King Jesus, long as I got King
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa De Jesus from King Jesus Press. Thank you for joining me today for another Metropolitan Institute Through Technology session brought to you by Metropolitan under the leadership of our senior pastor, Dr. Damone Paul Johnson. Today's topic is starting a small business. Now, if you're here because you've never started a business before and you don't know anything about actually forming one, you are in the right session. I'm going to cover basic step-by-step instructions on setting up your business with the New York State Department of State. If you already have a business and you're looking for some sort of 2.0 guide, such as information on how to grow it, or you're looking for financing or anything like that, this is not what I'm covering today. You'll need more advanced tools, but I'll go over some networking and resource ideas at the end of the session that may be useful to you. I just want to set realistic expectations for everyone who's watching. So, obviously, you're here today because you have this idea for a business. And let's face it, we are all full of ideas. Every week I think I come up with something new to do. I mean, if only there were more than 24 hours in a day, right? But I have a question for you today, and it's an important one. And that question is, what is your why? What's your reason for wanting to start a business? You have to have something that pushes you. Maybe you're tired of working for someone else, and you know your aspirations are bigger than your 9 to 5. Maybe you've declared back in January that 2020 was your year of clear vision, and you were finally going to start. Perhaps your prayer was for God to break generational curses and put you on a path to create generational wealth. After all, Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." So everyone has a why. For me, I experienced a job layoff. I was unemployed for a whole year, and it was a scary, scary time. At the time, I had a child at home depending on me, and I know there are a lot of parents out there watching, so you can relate. Because it's our responsibility to make sure that our children are feeling safe and secure. It's our responsibility to make sure that they're provided for and that their needs and their wants are met. And so to not be able to do that, it's a scary thing. Ever since I got laid off in that 2009, and mind you, it was during economic times much like today, I made up in my mind that I needed to have multiple streams of income to survive and thrive. So that was my why. As of September 2019, I also had a new why. This little buddy right here, Cairo, my new grand buddy, he's my new why. So I too want to create generational wealth for my children's children. Now, I'm emphasizing this today because understanding your why will help you push through difficult times along the entrepreneurial journey. And because difficult times will come, believe me, you're going to need something to motivate you to push you through. Now, you may say, well, I'm already motivated, and hopefully by this time you've already done your research on your business idea and you're ready to go, but you may not be sure on when is a good time to start a business. We're certainly living in a time that we've never seen before in our lifetime. Some of you may have lost your job because of the COVID-19 public health crisis. And I know this because statistics show more than 1.6 million people filed unemployment claims with the Department of Labor since this virus hit right here in New York State. That's a tremendous growth in numbers from this time last year. But while others are in a state of panic, You may be looking at this as an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Some of you may have been contemplating starting a business for a while now, but your 9 to 5, your family obligations, and even church obligations have gotten in the way of your dreams, and you've put it off. Some of you may still be employed, but you understand the value of having multiple streams of income, just as I do, especially in an unstable economy. So you want to take that leap of faith into entrepreneurship. Well, I'm here to tell you that now is a great time to start a business. I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. The stock markets have been up and down like a yo-yo. Non-essential employees and businesses have closed. Everyone's out in public wearing a mask, and it can seem scary. If you are apprehensive about starting a business at a time of economic uncertainty, let me encourage you with a few facts. The following companies started during a recession in the United States: General Electric, IBM, General Motors, Disney, Toll House Cookies, Burger King, Microsoft, CNN, and Apple, everyone's favorite. And I know Apple is everyone's favorite because I see the lines wrapped around the store in the mall. Of course, when we were able to go into the mall. But anyways, I just want to encourage you not to let fear lead you on your decision making on when to start a business. Because as you can see, some of the most successful and recognizable brands started at a time that seemed impossible. Now, I don't want to spend too much more time convincing you that this is the right thing for you to do and this is the right time for you to do it. Hopefully, by this time, you have already prayed on it. You will have already done all of your research, and you just needed a little motivation. So hopefully, I've provided that to you today. Now I want to transition into outlining 6 steps for starting a small business. So the first step is writing a business plan. Having a solid business plan is the foundation of any business. It's your business blueprint, and it helps you to organize your business, gives you a clear understanding of what you want to accomplish, and is your roadmap for how you need to execute. It usually consists of components like an executive summary, which basically summarizes everything that's in your business plan, a company description, that describes what your company is all about. It describes what your mission and what your goals are. Market analysis is another section, and this talks about the market and your industry. It talks about your research and even your competitors. Then you have a section that's about your organization and your management. This basically talks about who's at the helm and who's in charge of the company and what their background is. You'll have your service or product line information, which tells all about your service or product that you're offering. And you'll also have a marketing and sales section. This talks about how you plan on marketing your business and what your sales strategies are. This will include your communication techniques to your target audience. You'll also have a section with your financial projections. In this section, it talks all about how much it's going to cost to get your company off the ground, what your revenues are projected to be, what your sales are projected to be, what your profit and losses will be. Now, there may be other sections depending on the type of business that you are going to open up, but these are some basic sections of a business plan. Now, a business plan is vital, especially if you're seeking funding from financial institutions or private investors. They're going to want to see a plan on paper and not just hear about your great idea. Now, I know this may all sound intimidating to some of you. If you're not a strong writer, or if you lack the expertise to put a business plan together, the New York State Small Business Development Center here in Albany can help you with developing a plan. If you're in another city or state, you may also have a business center or incubator, and you should be able to just do a Google search for them. You can also find business plan templates online that you can use, even for specific industries. So your first step in starting a business is writing your business plan. Your second step is your business address. Determine where your business address will be. Now, when I created my book publishing company, King Jesus Press, I didn't want to use my home address because I wanted to keep my business separated from my personal affairs. I also don't have a storefront because that type of overhead isn't really necessary for the business space that I'm in. And as some of you who are working from home right now because of this virus can attest to, it is very possible to work remotely. If you don't have a physical business address, meaning you're not opening up a brick or mortar store, you can certainly use your home address if you want, or you can do what I did and establish an address through a UPS store. The cost is around $230 a year. I think it's a little cheaper if you do a multi-year lease, but I only did 1 year at a time. Certainly you can do it the way you see fit. Now, the reason why I listed this step before you even establish the business entity is because once you go online to file, you will need to fill in the address where the Secretary of State will mail a copy of any process against your business. This address will appear on your articles of organization, which we'll talk about shortly. So now we're on to step 3, and that step is establish a business entity. There are different types of business entities you can form: a sole proprietor, a partnership, S Corp, limited liability company, and more. These different designations determine how a business will be taxed. There are advantages and disadvantages to them all. For example, a sole proprietor is the easiest, least expensive, and least regulated business legal structure. It's owned and operated by one person, although it may have employees. But the disadvantage is that you will be responsible for the full amount of business debt, and the liability extends to all your assets, such as your home and vehicle. You definitely want to consult an attorney or a certified public accountant on the best legal structure for your business. I'm definitely not an attorney or an accountant, so I do have some recommendations that I'll provide to you at the end of the session. Now, for the purposes of this presentation, we will be discussing creating a limited liability company, or as it is commonly called, an LLC. I started King Jesus Press as an LLC in 2018, and actually I'm celebrating my 2-year anniversary. And I chose this structure because the owner doesn't assume liability for the business's debt, and any losses can be used as a tax deduction against active income. So, I'm going to walk you through the steps of forming an LLC here in New York State. This may be similar to other states as well, but if you're outside of New York State, please consult your Department of State where you live. So what I'm going to do is go to the Department of State's website, dos.ny.gov, and feel free to follow along with me at home on your computer, or if you don't want to do that at this moment, certainly pull out a pen and paper and take some great notes. Now, the first thing you want to do is choose a name for your business. I'm sure you've already thought of a wonderful name if you're at this point, but you have to see if that name is actually available. And you can do that right from the Department of State's website. So from the home page, we're going to scroll down to the right-hand side. You'll see a blue bar that says Corporations and Business Entity Database Searches. We're going to click on that box. It's going to bring you to a landing page where you can search for your entity name. We want to see again if it's available or if someone else here in New York State has that name. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in correctly. We're going to type in a name just to see if it's available. If it's an asterisk, it's going to be required information. So you can just check active only, which means all active businesses with that name. And either it begins with, contains, or partial information. So let's just say contains. And we're going to type in this number here just to make sure we're not robots here. And we're going to search the database. There you have it. It says that there is one entity found with the name King Jesus Press LLC. This is how you would check to see if your business name that you want is available. Now, King Jesus Press is taken, so obviously you can't have that name. But whatever name you're thinking of, this is how you'll search it. Now, the second step in establishing your business entity is actually filing your articles of organization. Now, we're going to go back to the Department of State's homepage. We're going to stay over to the right side of the page, and this time we're going to look for that orange box that says Online Filing for Business Corporations, LLCs, and Occupational Licenses, and click on that box. Under corporations and LLCs, you'll see a link here in bold that says Business Corporation and LLC Formation. We're going to click on that link. This will bring you to a landing page that says Welcome to the Department of State Online Filing System. In this first section here, you'll see a couple of links, and you're going to click on that second one that says Domestic Limited Liability Company. So on this page where it says Limited Liability Company, Domestic, Articles of Organization, this is how you are going to start the process for your business. Definitely read over all of the information that they give you on these pages. This is all pertinent information that you need to know about the process, about the LLCs, and any other pertinent information for you. So make sure you read through that. But after you read that and you are ready, you are going to click on, over on the left-hand side, the link that says How to Apply. That's going to jump over to another landing page where you can either apply online as an owner or apply online on behalf of another person. So let's say you are applying for yourself. You're going to click the first box here. That brings you to a page where you now have to register in order to go further in the process. You have to register to get an ny.gov login information. And if you've never done any business with the state before, you may not have this information. So you would have to go over to this side and register here. So we're going to click on that now. Hopefully your internet is faster than mine's. So, in order to get an ny.gov ID, you will fill in information about yourself, and this is where you will fill it in. After you fill in this information and confirm you're not a robot, you will then be able to go ahead and provide information to fill out your articles of organization. It's going to ask you for information like what your name is, what your business name is, what your whether you are filing as a manager or as a member. Now, if you don't know what any of that means, you definitely want to consult a CPA or an attorney to figure out what's the best structure for your business. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the prompts because it's asking you information to actually create a business, and I'm not going to do that right now, but it's a very easy and simple process. I think when I formed King Jesus Press, it took me all of like 15 minutes. After you do the filer attestation, which means you are confirming that all the information is accurate to the best of your knowledge, and you submit that, you'll then have to submit the filing fee to the Department of State. Now, it's $200 to file for your articles of organization. And once you pay that online, guess what? You are in business. Congratulations. It's that simple. So that's the step number 3. It's establishing your business entity. Like I said, it's an easy, simple process. Once you actually go into the system, it's prompting you to put in your information. And as you're putting in that information, it's building that document for you. So it's very, very simple. Now, we are going to go to our next step, which is obtain your federal employer ID number. Okay, so if you're still following along with me at home, you're going to go to the IRS's website at www.irs.gov. Now, right on the home page, there's a search bar in the right-hand corner. We are going to search for what we're looking for because it's not easily found on the home page. So just type in EIN in that search bar and hit enter. Now on this page, you'll see somewhere midway a link that says apply for an employer identification number, EIN, online. And let's go ahead and click on that link. Now this page gives you lots of information that you're going to need to digest, so make sure you read it through thoroughly. And when you're done reading, you're going to hit on that Apply Online Now button. So, more information again for you to digest. And when you're ready, click Begin Application. And now it's going to ask you what type of legal structure you are applying for an EIN. And I've already gone through those different types of legal structures. And for the purposes of this presentation, we said that we're just going to look at the limited liability company information. But certainly if you are applying for any other type of business, go ahead and select that one that applies to you. After you click that, we're going to go and continue. Hit continue again after you read all of this important information. And now it's going to take you through the EIN Assistant where it's asking you questions pertaining to your business. And you're just going to fill it out here. Like this first question is asking about the members in your LLC or your business. The member could just be you by yourself. It could be you and your spouse. Your children could be members of your company. Whatever you want, however many members you have, you will enter it right here. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these prompts because it's asking me for information to actually create an EIN for an existing business. So I'm not going to go through that, but it's not a hard process at all. It's a few questions that you're going to answer, and that's going to generate your EIN. So after you fill in the identify information, then you have to authenticate, add your addresses, other details, and then the EIN confirmation. Best of all about this process is that it is free, absolutely free to get your EIN. Now, you have to apply on Monday through Friday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. You also have to complete this application in one session, or it's going to time you out. Now, after 15 minutes of inactivity, it's going to make you do it again. So you want to make sure you have the information ready that you're going to need to fill out this information to get your EIN. That's it. It's just that simple. make sure that this is something that you do. You're going to need it in order to open up a business account. You obviously want a business account because, let's face it, you're in the business for making money, and you want to make sure you have a business bank account. And that way it makes you look more legit and not so much like a fly-by-night business. So we have completed step number 4, which is obtain your EIN. And now we're going to go to step number 5, which is advertise your business. Now that you have your articles of organization, you must advertise your business in 2 publications, 1 daily newspaper and 1 weekly. The ad must run for 6 consecutive weeks in the legal sections. I spent approximately $80 total when I advertised King Jesus Press, so it's not a huge expense. Now, after all the ads run, the newspapers will mail you an affidavit for you to send back to the Department of State. You will pay another $50 to file the affidavits with the state. And that's it. It's that simple. That is how you advertise your business. Now, we get to step 6, our final step. Become authorized to collect sales taxes. Every person who sells taxable, tangible personal property or taxable service, even if you make sales from your home, even if you are a temporary vendor or only sell once a year, you must register with the tax department through the New York Business Express before you begin your business. So I'm going to walk you through that now on the tax department's website. So again, come along with me to the tax department's website at tax.ny.gov. Now they have a lot of information on their homepage, especially about COVID-19. But keep scrolling down to the center of the webpage and you're going to see 4 icons across the bottom, and you're just going to hit on the last one that says Register for Sales Tax. Once that opens up, and again, hopefully your internet is faster than mine's. There we go. We are going to register as a sales tax vendor. Scroll down after you read all of the pertinent information, and when you're ready, you're going to hit on the Apply Online button. Now once you do that, it's going to bring you to a page that should look familiar to you. This is the same page that you went to when we were on the Department of State's website where you created your ny.gov ID. So you're not going to have to register here because you will have already done that. And you're just going to click on Login here. So once you log in, you're going to put in your credentials here and log in. And then the system will take you through different prompts. It's going to ask you questions pertaining to your business. And by this time, you will have all this information. It's going to ask you for an EIN number, which you have already obtained. It's going to ask you your legal business name, which you now have. It's going to ask you for your address, and you already have your business address established. So just go ahead and answer all of the questions it asks of you. And it's a really simple process. Again, it doesn't take that long. It's not lengthy. It's not pages and pages of an application. So you will be up and running in no time. Once you submit that, the tax department will then mail you what they call a certificate of authority. Now, this is going to look like this. It's an orange kind of rectangular piece of paper, and you are going to display this wherever you do business. So the way I use it, when I go out and sell books, whether I'm at a festival, outside, whether I'm indoors at a book signing, wherever I'm selling books, I keep my certificate of authority in a frame and I display it at that time. What that does is it lets your customers know that you are authorized to charge sales taxes, and it lets them know that they are obligated to pay taxes on goods and services. Now, I know not everyone likes to pay taxes, but it is a necessity and it has to be done. I even do it on my books, like I said, and sometimes I get complaints from customers like, I don't believe it. Why do I have to pay sales tax? And I just say, you know what? It's the law. You have to do it, and it's biblical. So we have to pay our sales taxes. And that's it. That is your certificate of authority and how you become authorized to collect sales tax. So, to recap, the 6 steps that I covered today for starting a small business are: write a business plan, determine your business address, establish your business entity by checking name availability and filing articles of organization, obtain your EIN, advertise your business, and become authorized to collect sales tax. Now, I covered as much of the basics as I could within the limited time frame that I had. I try to keep it generic so that it would be applicable to any business. But there are many other aspects of starting a business that you should be aware of and seek out information on. Now, based on the type of business, you may need to obtain permits from your local health, fire, and building departments, obtain licenses, verify zoning requirements from your village, town, or city zoning board. And if you're going to have employees, you'll need to learn about obtaining unemployment insurance, workers' compensation and disability insurance, healthcare insurance options, payroll withholding, etc. You're also going to want to explore your bookkeeping options, whether you're going to do it yourself or whether you're going to hire a pro. Take advantage of free resources like the New York State Small Business Development Center, free video series like this one, and find a business mentor in your field who can shepherd you through your business journey. I also suggest you connect with a chamber of commerce in your area. Here in the Capital Region, we have the Capital Chamber of Commerce, the Black Chamber of Commerce, the Guilderland Chamber of Commerce, where I live, and there may be others, so make sure you do your homework. The chamber could be a good place for you to network, enhance your business, build your team, and increase your business profile. You may also benefit from joining other professional trade organizations in your specific field. For example, if you're starting a commercial cleaning business, and let's face it, that wouldn't be a bad idea in this age of COVID-19, you can join the International Janitorial Cleaning Services Association. If you're a barber and you want to open your own barbershop, there's the American Barber Association. And it seems like a lot of people are turning to coaches these days. So if that's your skill set and you want to open up a coaching business, you have the International Coach Federation. Now, if you've been inspired by DJ D Nice and Club Quarantine and you want to start your own DJ business, there's the United States Disc Jockey Association. Now, some of you are looking at me funny, but I know you know what I'm talking about because I've seen you up in the online Club Quarantine. Point of the matter is, there is a professional organization for just about every trade or industry. So, connect with others in your space that can help you on your entrepreneurial journey. Lastly, make sure you check out the resource page on Metropolitan's website or Facebook page. You'll find all the important links to the agencies that I mentioned today, along with some of my personal service recommendations for an attorney and an accountant that you can take advantage of. Feel free to follow me on my social media pages for my author and publisher updates. I'm Lisa DeJesus from King Jesus Press, LLC. Thank you for watching.